Podcast. Wow, July's just flying. July 22nd, 2020. We have the random midweek Wednesday edition of the SMT Podcast. Tonight we are talking T-Mobile. They got a new plan, kind of. The reason I say it's kind of a new plan because it essentially is the essentials plan. Did I just do that? Oh man, I'm terrible. What's going on, guys? It's been a long day. I totally tried to avoid doing like a pun. Apparently, I was pun bound for the day. But yeah, we're gonna talk about this plan on the heels of an uncarrier announcement. I'm gonna do the whole like air quote thing, uncarrier announcement, right? Not really much uncarrier about it, in my opinion. The move that they did last week, Thursday, I believe, uncarrier next. It was about like scam protections. A lot of those things that they relaunched, essentially, they had been there already, and they were just essentially offering it to all their customers, certain levels of protection against scam calling. And they just made sure that they, tried to convince people that they were doing something that was profound and impactful to the wireless space. And I, for one, wasn't buying it. I know a lot of people out there weren't either. And a lot of people were thinking, this didn't really deserve an uncarrier announcement, as it wasn't revolutionary. It wasn't game changing. It didn't force AT&T or Verizon to respond in any way. It really wasn't that type of move. But that's what they did. They spent millions of dollars on the productions and they got actor Anthony Anderson and that whole thing. But anyways, I don't really want to talk about that per se. I want to talk about this plan, the one that I think starts the 24th. So we'll get to all the details and all that good stuff. And actually, I'll do some screen sharing and all of that. Before I get started, though, what I do want to mention is, while I have all your attention here, and we already got 73 here in the live, big shout out to you guys, hashtag 2Live Crew. And a big shout out to my mods, hashtag Mod Squad. I see some of you guys already in there. Thanks for being here and taking care of business and, holding things down in the live chat, keeping things kosher and making sure everything's on the up and up. Mr. Two Phone General, what is up, my friend? Good to see you, bro. I see a lot of you in there. Josh, Scotty, Delbert is here. Cesar, good to see you guys. Michael, info assistant, some of my riders there. Gene, the homie Big Scoop, what is up? RFK Tech Q&A. Ricky will be doing a live stream after mine. He'll be following up. So do hang around for that. We'll kind of move over there. Alex says, dude, why are you such a beast? I think he must be talking about Technoid, because Technoid's video today was phenomenal. Technoid, I love the intro. Where your videos are amazing, man. Your channel's a lot of fun, bro. I really enjoy it. Sean, good to see you. Bobby, I see you. If you're watching this on replay, some of you may be, at a later time, hashtag replay crew. And if you're watching this while you're eating dinner, maybe you're hungry or something, hashtag ravioli gang. Big shout out to you guys. Anyways, Finney, see you. Salvador, what's going on? What I'm doing is I'm actually reintroducing the audio only version of this podcast. So for those of you that remember, in December and January, I was running weekly episodes of a podcast. What I was doing was I was actually doing completely separate productions. I was writing out, show notes and delivering an audio only podcast on, a whole slew of different platforms. Big shout out to Mikey Tech Reviews. Thanks for the super chat, broski. $2 super chat. Hashtag ravioli gang in the house. Yeah. What's up, Big Lou? What is up, baby Yoda? Yeah. Lavendi, what is going on, dude? Thank you, Maximus. Appreciate you. Look, man, I really enjoy doing podcasts. I even really enjoy just the productions of the audio only version, because there is this little element of production to it. It just didn't make sense at the time for me to do it because of how busy my schedule was. And then also throw in the fact that the return of investment into the podcast wasn't really paying out. But since then, I actually had my podcast cleared on 8 different podcast platforms. So if you look in the description box of the video right here, if you're on the YouTube side, you will see like 8 different links for the podcast. Now, I produce the podcast through Anchor, so you're going to see a link for that. But there's other ones too. There's other podcast platforms where you guys can actually access the podcast. So if you look at the list, you'll see them all there. So if you are a podcast person, you like them, and you like the audio only version of podcasts, we've got it on Apple Podcasts now, which is great because that's a big one. Spotify, Google, Radio Public, Breaker, Pocket Cast, and Overcast. So we're pretty much, now we're on all of them. And because of that, I think it's actually probably good that I get back to making the podcast. And I think what I'll do is, for those of you that possibly miss the live stream version of the podcast and want to like watch it on the replay, or you actually appreciate the audio only version so you don't have to chew up extra video data, or you want to save resources, or you don't want to kill your battery, maybe you don't have YouTube Premium, you can watch these there. All right, so, or listen to them there on the podcast. So what I'm going to do is, after I'm done with all this introductory stuff, I'm going to start recording through the Anchor software, the Anchor program, and I'll just create the podcast version. So it'll be a little bit abbreviated because it'll skip all the introductory stuff, and it'll actually skip all the extra stuff at the end. So if you want to watch like just the meats and the gravy of the podcast, you want to listen in, that would be a great way to do it. So I'm going to start uploading there. That way I don't have to produce extra content, really. I'll just go ahead and hit the record button soon as we're ready to start like the podcast stuff. And we'll do it that way. I think what I'll do is at least once a month, I'll do like a dedicated podcast there for that. So, and that way there's a reason to, download a podcast app or check me out there. So the podcast name is actually called the, wait, what did I name that? It's been so long. I think it was the SMT Wireless Report is what I called it. So yeah, you guys can check out the SMT Wireless Report on all your favorite podcast apps. They'll be there, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. Before I get going with the podcast today, big shout out to the patrons. Thank you guys for supporting productions there. There's a link in the description for that. We also have the Twitter handle in the description box. At SneedTech, we do Periscope lives on there. Those are fun. If you guys want to get more involved with the community, those are great ways to do it. And that's pretty much it. I think there's also a Discord server link in there. There's different ways to get more involved with the community. Do check out those links, at any time during the show. Texas Marine, thanks for the super chat, broski. The Death Star is docked in Houston tonight. Yeah, the Death Star. We're talking about AT&T there, huh? Get a sip of caffeine there. All right, so here's what I want to do first. I just want to let you guys know I'm going to go ahead and hit the record button, and we're going to start the Anchor Productions, the SMT Wireless Report. Okay. All right, so this is the audio only version of the SMT Wireless Report, the podcast. This podcast I do on YouTube, and I will also be producing it here through Anchor, and it'll be found on all of your favorite podcast app platforms. What I'll do is I will take a component of the podcast that I do on YouTube, upload it here for you guys on the audio only version. Hopefully you enjoy the show. Let's go ahead and get things started. Today we are talking T-Mobile. T-Mobile's got some new plans, or I should say really new plan. It's and I made a joke about this. Thanks, Alex, for the super chat. Appreciate it. It's the essential plan offered in a 4-line bundle. You can add a 5th line, you can add a 6th line, but there's a bunch of things that you probably want to know if you are going to take advantage of this offer. It is a nicely priced offer. I'm not going to deny that, but I think there are some caveats, and there are some features or lack thereof that you should know about before you pull the trigger on this deal. This deal is an entry-level deal. This offer is a plan that I think is very basic. You're not looking at this plan and expecting a lot. If you are, I think you're sadly mistaken. Your expectations should be tempered. So what I'll do first is I'll pull up the article for those that are watching this on the YouTube version of the podcast. I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share. And then for those that are listening in on the audio only podcast, I'll go ahead and fill you in on the basic premise of the article, what was announced today from T-Mobile, and all the details with the offer. So let's go ahead and share this with everyone. Okay, so here's an article from The Verge. They had this story earlier today. T-Mobile's new plan has 4 lines of unlimited data and standard quality video for $100. Now, looking at that price point, 4 lines for $100 per month. It seems like a great deal. And it actually is. It's priced very well. This is postpaid service. This is not prepaid service. So in my opinion, the pricing is good. The issue is with all of the other stuff, and I'll discuss all those topics now. So what they're calling the first unified plan, as they co-brand the T-Mobile and Sprint brands into just T-Mobile after they've successfully merged, and you'll have the unified brands as of August 2nd, 2020. They're actually going to start offering this plan July 24th. The offer is 4 lines, $25 per line. As long as you are able to put it on auto pay, it will put you in at $100 per month. It does include 5G access in this plan, and that's cool and good to know, but we kind of already knew that because T-Mobile has already gone on the record to say that they will not be charging extra for 5G. That being the case, they probably didn't need to do that, but that's what they did, and that's what T-Mobile does. They have a tendency to do that. Big shout out to Firewolf Tech. Thank you for your super chat, and Cesar Barajas with the super chat. He said he's been able to locate 2.5 gigahertz mid-band 5G in LA on T-Mobile. Yeah, I've been hearing reports of this. So moving into these details of the plan, the first thing that you'll notice is that the video resolution is going to be standard. I'll just call it. Let's just call it like it is. It's 480p. 480p, in my opinion, is as entry level as it gets. Higher tiered plans from most carriers will put you up to 720p, which is HD, and then full HD at 1080p. And then some carriers have the capacity, like in my experience, AT&T, where they've got so much capacity, they can actually give you, full HD or better, quad HD, 4K in some cases. But this is an entry level plan. So being that it is HD streaming, I'm not looking at it like that's a deal breaker. If you're coming in at that price point, $25 per line, 480p is an expectation, I feel. If you're looking for something more, high end, you're probably looking at, Magenta Plus or something like that to get a higher resolution video quality. So the pricing is good. The expectation of video resolution seems fine. I don't have any problem with that. The one thing I will say is that you will be paying taxes and fees on this plan. The reason for that is this is the Essentials plan. This plan is no different. This is the Essentials plan with a bit of a twist, just in the pricing, because it is running as a promotion. Now, if your first 4 lines are $25 per line, that's $100 plus taxes and fees. And then you can get a 5th line and even a 6th line at $20 per line. So if you wanted 5 lines, a larger family, or maybe 6 lines, it would be $20 for lines 5 and 6. So $100 for the first 4, 20 and 20 for the next 2. So you could essentially have 6 lines of unlimited data, unlimited talk and text for $140 plus tax. Now, depending on where you live, tax and fees might vary and they might be different. But that's kind of like the way things are. T-Mobile's in a position now where they simply cannot give, taxes and fees included in these lower end plans. There's just not enough profitability at these lower price points for them to be able to do that, turn enough profit, and continue to build out their network. The thing about networks, and a lot of people know this and some people probably don't, is they are very, very expensive to maintain. And not just really expensive to maintain, but very expensive to build out. To give you an example of how much T-Mobile spends annually, traditionally, like in the past, they have spent upwards of $6 billion annually on their network. Verizon typically spends between 16 and 18 billion. AT&T has been spending over 20 billion annually the last couple of years. Sprint, around that, somewhere between like 4 and 8 billion over the course of the last several years. It's been different from year to year. These are very expensive investments. It is big time money. And if you're selling a lot of lines at a low price point, there's not much profitability. You have to pay network technicians. You have to invest in hardware. There's research and design. There's retail spaces that you have to rent. And there's employees you have to pay. There's so many different things. I mean, business operations have taxes. Business operations have all types of overhead. So there must be more profit, right? So these lower end plans, they're designed to keep, the entry level customer satisfied with a plan on a company's network. And, like I said, it's going to be too difficult for them to maintain that pricing and be able to turn a profit. So they are unable to give that type of taxes and fees included under those stipulations at that price point. I actually want to look a little bit more at the details of this plan. What you can do if you want to know more about what comes with this plan is you can go to tmobile.com. They actually don't have the deal listed yet because it's not live until July 24th. So you could take advantage of it then if you so choose. But if you go to the tmobile.com website and look at the Essentials Plan's features, you could see what comes with this plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transition over there. I'm going to share my screen with you all for those that are here in the live on the YouTube side. And I'm going to show you guys what exactly comes with an Essentials plan. So here's the baseline pricing. T-Mobile Essentials is $30 per line, 4 lines with autopay for $120 per month plus taxes and fees. The line offer that they're doing now with this unified plan, you're essentially dropping that cost by $5 per line. So it's a savings of $20 per month. And because the entry level point is lower, your taxes will also be a little bit less because the total, the subtotal is a little bit lower. So it's a bit of a discount to the current Essentials promo. You get unlimited talk and text, smartphone data on our network, unlimited texting abroad. You have SD streaming, so that'll be 480p, dedicated customer care team. Every T-Mobile customer has that. Free stuff every week essentially means, T-Mobile Tuesdays. Talk, text, and 2G data in Mexico and Canada. No high-speed LTE tethering here. 3G mobile hotspot data. Notice this fine print here at the bottom. I hope you guys can see that. I'm going to go ahead and highlight it there in blue. During congestion, customers using 50 gigs or more data per month, and essential customers may notice lower speeds than other customers due to data prioritization. Tax and fees vary by locale. Speak to sales representatives to find the best plan for you. So if you're an essential customer, which you are going to be with this deal, you are always subject to deprioritization. That means every other customer on the T-Mobile network that's on Magenta Plus, Magenta, or any of the business Magenta plans, anything like that, they will have priority on the network. So you will be the first one to get slowed on the network. So your QCI or your quality experience on the network is much lower. You are subject to deprio when the certain towers you're connected to start to get congested and they start to slow down. You'll be one of the first ones to be slowed. All right. So this is an important thing that you have to keep in mind. If network experience is really important to you, and you are the type of person that wants to take advantage of a very fast, a very solid, high quality network experience, and you live in a region where T-Mobile's coverage is lacking or is congested, this plan is going to be very unpleasant. I'll give you an example. I have seen many speed test screenshots of users in Chicago, and they share with me that their network experience is very congested. Chicago is a huge market. It's very difficult to have really fast speeds in Chicago when you have so many users on the network, and T-Mobile's got a decent sized market share there. So you're sharing towers and resources with a lot of people. That being said, your network experience may suffer because you are so low on the priority. I like to call this the totem pole. So if you're at the bottom of the totem pole, there are multiple layers of users that have higher priority than you that are going to get slowed much later after you. You're going to be one of the first users that are slowed when it comes to network experience on this plan. So when you get this plan, I highly recommend make sure that you are in a network market where T-Mobile's experience is very good. Make sure you have a lot of tower sites in your region, a lot of small cells. The speeds are very high because once those towers start to get traffic on them, they will be prioritized heavily. And this is one of those plans that is going to get deprioritized very early in the process of deprioritization. Now, if you're in a market where the T-Mobile network is less congested and the experience, there's lots of tower sites and the capacity is very high, then this might be something worth it for you to invest and look into. But I'm telling you guys, if it's a market that's questionable and has congestion and there's a lot of network traffic, it may be kind of tough to pull this one off. Your experience may be less than enjoyable. Cesar with the super chat. Thank you for that. Very kind of you. When can Sprint customers get access to Magenta plans? What will happen with Sprint open lease agreements? The first thing I'll mention about the Magenta plans is they can switch to Magenta plans anytime August 2nd and on. As long as the coverage is there in their market, they should be good to go. In terms of the Sprint open lease agreements, in order for their devices to be locked and used on the network, they actually have to pay off those devices or finish their leases. So they're still tied to those devices. The thing I will say is if you're on a Sprint plan and you're happy and you're able to keep it, finish paying off your device, get that sucker unlocked, and then decide what you want to do at a later time. If you want to keep your plan, if you want to go with a T-Mobile Magenta plan, if there's perks and offers and other things you want to take advantage of with T-Mobile plans, then you could consider that later. Just my 2 cents. I think that's the best way to approach it. Let's get a little something to drink there. As I was saying about this plan, scrolling down, you will see there's your pricing. It's got to be on auto pay. You will be paying taxes and fees on top of the asking price. Those are important things to note. So be mindful of that with this plan. There's really not much else that comes with this plan. This is a bare bones plan. Unlimited talk and text, unlimited high-speed data. You're going to be deprioed heavily at times of congestion all the time. There is no threshold, right? Like after 50 gigs or no, you are constantly subject to deprioritization. And that's because the network in some cases can be congested. It's just the way it is. We have a lot of users on our networks. A lot of people rely heavily upon wireless. We've gone through this pandemic and people are really taxing networks. And some markets, they're just unable to provide a sustainable, high quality network experience without some form of network management. And that's just the way it is. Now, some of the better networks across the nation, obviously, they're able to provide higher capacity. The network management is, it's less of a big deal, right? It's less likely to happen. I will tell you guys, I have tried every carrier. AT&T has done a phenomenal job with capacity. I highly recommend if you are looking for a high capacity network experience, look at what AT&T has to offer. I don't work for them. They don't pay me. I'm not endorsed. I'm not sponsored. I'm telling you from personal experience, that is an amazing high capacity network. In some cases, Verizon has great network experiences as well in some markets. Some places people tell me it's congested. I don't really see it that much here in the Cleveland, Ohio area, my personal experiences, but some people tell me it is. And based on their spectrum position, it's believable. It's very possible that could be the case. But their tower density is very high. They have tower sites all over the nation. Really an impressive national LTE network. Dan, thank you for the super chat. That's really nice of you. Appreciate it. He says, thanks, Sneed. Detailed as always. I do my best, Dan. I do want to give you guys all the actual factuals and make sure you guys know everything and you guys are up to speed with all things wireless, So thank you for that super chat. Arcelia, good to see you. What's up, Frankie? Good to have you. If a Sprint customer wants to switch to a T-Mobile plan, the device must be paid off first. Yes, because that's the only way they're going to get unlocked. so that they'll be able to be used on the network. So that is 100% true. So looking at the plans, my takeaway, it's a bare bones plan. It's their essentials. There's not much perks. There's nothing to really offer here, except if you are a customer that is just looking for the basic wireless connections, this fits the bill. Doesn't have high-speed tethering. It doesn't offer any type of priority access. It's not going to be a high-quality experience when it comes to elite-level speeds, probably. But it could fit the bill for some entry-level plans. If you have an older T-Mobile One plan, Select Choice, all these other older plans, you're not looking at this. If you're happy with your Magenta, if you're happy with your Magenta Plus, the amount of value you're getting with Magenta and Magenta Plus is much better. Now, here's what I'll share with you guys. For $35 a month, 4 lines with autopay, 3rd line on us, that is a much better value. Because look what you're getting with the rest of it. Taxes and fees included. Netflix or Quibi. You're also getting the free texting and 1 hour in-flight Wi-Fi. 3 gigs of mobile hotspot, LTE speed. 5 gigs of high-speed data in Mexico and Canada. There's much more value in this plan. But for somebody who wants to come in at $100... plus taxes and fees, it probably puts them at about $120. So for $20 more, you're getting a much better value. For $20 more, I'm talking about the account. Now let's kick it up a notch and go to Magenta Plus. Here's where the value gets much better. If you're talking about a plan that offers really nice features, so something a little bit more premium. When I look at the Magenta Plus, if you're willing to go up to about $170 per month, you're going to get taxes and fees included. You're going to get Netflix or Quibi. You're going to get 2 times data speed texting abroad. You're going to get free texting and unlimited in-flight Wi-Fi. You're still going to get the 5 gigs of 4G data in Mexico and Canada. You're going to get more tethering and mobile hotspot data, 20 gigs. And you're also going to get HD streaming, which is 720p. You're also going to get voicemail to text, which is a transcription service. And then you're going to get Name ID, which is pretty cool. That's a nice feature to know when spammers and stuff are calling you. So the value proposition at Magenta is much better than Essentials, and the value proposition at Magenta Plus is even better. The problem is you've gone up in cost, right? So the Essentials with the new deal puts you at about $110 to $120, depending on your taxes and fees based on your locale. Let's just say it's $120. With Magenta, it's going to come in at about $140, and with Magenta Plus, you're coming in at $170. Each extra bit of money is what T-Mobile wants you to spend. They want you to spend more because the average revenue per account increases, and they are all for that. The end game is for them to make as much money as possible out of every account. Big shout out to Gene. Thanks for the super chat. No question or comment. We do appreciate that, though. Thanks so much for that. They want to generate as much money as they can. They want customers to spend as much as possible per month. And that's how they could do it, by upselling you on higher valued plans with much more when it comes to the feature sets. If you have an older plan that you really like, you're not looking at this. If you have a Magenta or Magenta Plus plan and you like what you have, you're probably not looking at the Essentials. But if you are currently, considering switching to Magenta, right, and you're looking for maybe a better price point, the Essentials could work. And with this deal, it's very nice. It may help. In my opinion, this is not a game-changing plan. No way, no how. The only way this is going to be appropriate for someone is if their needs are very minimal, right? It's a bare bones wireless experience, as I stated earlier. Another thing that I will say, though, is if you're paying the $100 per month for the 4 lines, for an additional $5 a month, they'll give you a Samsung Galaxy A71 5G. For those of you that know that phone, it's the first major mid-ranger 5G phone that's coming here in the United States to local carriers. So Verizon sells it. T-Mobile sells it. I don't know if AT&T is going to carry it or not. I'm not really sure. But I know that the phone sells for about $599 at T-Mobile, and it sells for $649 at Verizon, the millimeter wave version. This one's going to be sub 6 gigahertz only, so it'll be mid-band and low-band 5G. And I will say that the phone is an interesting prospect. If you're going to spend $599 on that phone, you might as well just spend the extra $100 and get the OnePlus and get a flagship level experience, a better processor, more RAM, a better software experience, in my opinion, also better camera. So that's something to consider. But you're not going to beat the price of additional $5 per line to get that brand new phone. Now, here's the one thing I will make sure that you guys know. It does say a trade-in is required. If you have an old phone to trade in and they'll take it and give you good value, then do that. But if they're saying trade in your OnePlus 7, McLaren, or if they're saying trade in your Note 9 or your Note 10 or something, no way. No way. Maybe you have an iPhone 6S or an iPhone 7 even. Maybe that's worthy of a trade-in. But you're not trading in an iPhone 10 to get into a mid-ranger, right? There's just certain things you should and shouldn't do. So consider that there are some stipulations to this deal. Inquire July 24th when this deal does go live. That's kind of all the factuals there on the plan. Now, I'm going to X out of this window, and I'm actually going to access a different window. I want to share something else with you guys. I'm actually going to pull up the Metro pricing. For those of you that know, Metro by T-Mobile is their prepaid arm that operates independently and separately of T-Mobile. It's a T-Mobile company, but it's technically separate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up what they have to offer, and we're going to compare the T-Mobile Essentials plan to what Metro by T-Mobile offers, because I think some of you are going to be surprised, and this may be a reason why you might want to stay away from T-Mobile Essentials. So here is the Metro by T-Mobile.com website. When you open it up and you select phone plans, here are the 3 different plans that they promote heavily. There's a $40 plan, which gives you a 10 gig high-speed data allowance. I'm not really going to look at that one for the purpose of this video. I actually want to look at these 2 unlimited data plans. There is a $50 plan. There is a $60 plan. Both of them come with unlimited high-speed data on the T-Mobile network. Let's look at the pricing. And I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit so everybody can see it. And of course, I will describe it for those that are listening in on the audio-only version of the podcast. If you look at the $50 plan for 4 lines, it is $140. In and of itself, you would say that the Essentials is a better price because the Essentials is selling you 4 lines at $100. Plus taxes and fees probably takes that offer on the Essentials, the 4 lines for $100, probably up to about $115 or $120, depending on your locale. Okay. So they're separated by about 30, maybe $25. This plan's actually more expensive. You'd say, wow, a prepaid carrier is more expensive than a postpaid. But here's what you're getting on top of the plan. With the $50 unlimited high-speed plan with Metro, you're getting 5 gigs of high-speed data for tethering and hotspot. You're also getting 100 gigs of Google One storage. That's an added value that you're not getting on T-Mobile Essentials. So for the extra $25 or $30 on each line you have, you're getting 5 gigs of tethering high-speed data and 100 gigabyte storage of Google One. That's an added value. If you really like the idea of having 5 gigs of high-speed tethering data and Google One storage, this may be a better value than the Essentials if it fits what your needs are. Now, let's actually look over at the $60 plan. So this is $60. Now, this is what they're heavily promoting, and this is what I would tell people to get. Because look at the cost of 4 lines on Metro by T-Mobile on the $60 plan. 4 lines is $120. 4 lines is $120. Now, I will tell you guys, taxes and fees are included in these plans. So this is $120 out the door. The last I checked, they weren't charging taxes on these plans. Big shout out to Jamaal. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that very much. In my opinion, the Metro 4 lines for $120 is a better deal than the Essentials on the postpaid. $120. That's going to cost you the same as the 4 lines on the Essential. This is the same cost right here, 4 lines, $120, because the other one's 100 plus taxes. This one's 120 out the door. That being said, that's the deal to go with. I think I recommend Metro's $60 plan over the Essentials. I'm pretty sure. And let me tell you why. The reason I say go with this, look at what you're getting in this plan. 15 gigs of high-speed hotspot data. Google One, 100 gigabytes of storage. And Amazon Prime. For those of you that use Amazon Prime out there, that is a phenomenal service. Metro is offering you Amazon Prime, which gets you 2-day shipping through Amazon, access to all types of video content, right? All this other action. I mean, there's so much more value in that $60 plan. Carlos, joining us here.
Yo, what up? What up?
Turn left.
Carlos, we got you live if you're ready to jump in.
Yeah, I'm here. What up? Is the mic work? Yo, you hear me?
At the light, make a U-turn at Sunset Drive.
What the?
Then turn left to merge.
Can you hear me, Carlos? Okay, we'll wait for him to come back. Thank you for the super chat sticker, Jamaal. I can't see the sticker, but appreciate it. In my opinion, I think the move here is if you're coming in at that price point, I'm liking the Metro deal better. Carlos, what's going on, buddy?
You hear me?
Yeah, I could hear you.
Okay. It wasn't working earlier. I don't know why.
Yeah, I just had to switch the audio.
Oh. Yeah, it wasn't working, but yeah,
What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, not much. What's going on with this this value essentials that they're talking about?
All right, so I went through all the items that the deal comes with.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting that the Metro deal is actually better.
Well,
The 4 lines at Metro essentially is the same price, and it gets you 15 gigs of hotspot on each line, the 100 gigs of storage through Google One, and Amazon Prime. And that's all the same price.
it's a no-brainer. You already know where I'm going to go with that one.
Yeah, I can't advise anybody to go any other way. So in my opinion, if you're looking at the Essentials plan, this offer, they're not really doing you any favors with this offer. They're giving you a stripped down version of the $60 unlimited high speed plan with Metro. I can't recommend it because of that reason.
Of course. Bro, all this is
Oh,
just a propaganda
Yasmin.
stuff.
Yasmin's here. She's crashing. What's up, Yasmin?
I'm not going to bed yet.
You're not? Aren't you going to bed soon?
Yeah.
Yep, we got Yasmin in the house. You want to say hi?
Hi,
What's in
Baba.
your pocket?
Even my candy from Sito.
That's your candy?
Yeah,
Okay.
from Sito.
Okay.
All
Right.
this is just a propaganda stunt, bro. All it is
Shut up.
because they're trying to address because the outages,
Come
they're
on.
trying to address the turn. That's all this was for, bro. And to try to give everybody into a 5G phone because they know their LTE network is starting to tank really hard and they're trying to unload into the 5G. That's why they're trying to give the phone for $5 to make people think like they're getting a good deal, getting the A71 for $5, just because they know that they're screwing up. And on top of it, who wants to be on their 5G network that's straight up trash? And who wants to be
So I have Carlos S. Tech with me. For those of you that are unaware, he just kind of jumped in. What Carlos is talking about is the 5G phone is a, I don't know, should we say like a nice little add-on perk to get you in a newer device? But
yeah.
the network itself is not ready for prime time. The 5G network from T-Mobile is not high capacity. It's not really changing anyone's network experience in most cases to the point where you would say it's a generational leap, right? It's not going to change anybody's perceptions between LTE and 5G. So I can't I can't really say that the extra $5 a month that you're getting for that phone is really worth it, especially because you're trading in a phone.
And in
go
some markets, bro, maybe in some markets it might work for you,
At the
man.
lights,
If that's what you
use
want to
the
do,
left 2
that's
lanes
on
to
you.
merge onto I-15.
But to me, personally, bro, you know I'm a people's person, man, and I think this is just a way to screw the Sprint customers over on those old plans. We already know their Kickstarter's piece, bro. You're out of here. So
Yeah.
if you thought
I
by you
think
going and getting those plans, you're screwed.
I think some people who have multiple line accounts, this could help them save money, maybe, but you're getting such a stripped down experience. Like you have to know going into this how little you're getting. Unlimited talk and text, unlimited data, low priority, right? You're subject to deprio all the time. So you just
QCI
have to be
9.
ready for that, right? QCI is very, very low.
Yeah, it's a level 9 QC 9. It goes 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 is
That's
prepaid.
the lowest. So it's right there with prepaid. That's why I keep emphasizing the fact that this plan is essentially a stripped down version of the Metro plan. It just doesn't give you the Prime, it doesn't give you the Google One storage, and it doesn't give you the hotspot data. If you're a traditional wireless user, you probably want the tethering data. You might have an iPad, you might have a tablet, you might have some secondary devices or a laptop or a Chromebook that you want to connect occasionally. Maybe you use 5 gigs of tethering. Maybe you use 10 gigs of tethering and 3G won't cut it. The essential plan is only 3G hotspot. This plan with Metro gives you way more. And InfoSystem brings up the point. It includes 5G access. So does Metro. Metro doesn't keep you out of 5G. The experience of 5G is available to all customers that are on the T-Mobile network. That would include Boost Mobile customers because of the MVNO agreement. That would include Ting. That would include Mint Mobile. That would include every MVNO that runs on the T-Mobile network. So it's not really helping anyone in that respect. That's just a marketing ploy. Paul, thank you for the super sticker. I'm not sure what it is because I can't see on the StreamYard, but thank you for that. I would actually encourage customers to go look at Metro because
thumbs up Hippo.
Thumbs up Hippo. Good looking out, Paul. I would not waste the soft pull on my credit on that plan from the essentials. I would just do the prepaid Metro and get more. What do you say, Carlos?
I mean, I agree with you, but it's not a soft pull, it's a hard pull. Anytime you go to a carrier to get any sort of financing, open availability, anything, it's hard pull credit. 2-year inquiry.
I thought I don't know, maybe I just confused it with Sprint.
Every carrier does a hard pull when you apply for financing. Every single one.
Oh, well, I'm just talking the line access. Are we talking about the phone that they're including if you take advantage of the 5G phone?
Oh no, I thought you meant for like credit pull, like
no. Well, I mean, anytime you do a postpaid account, they're going to do a soft pull. If you do financing like an iPhone or something, yeah, it's a hard pull. Which is why it's a 2-year hard pull, because it's a 2-year payment installment plan on the device. Do soft pulls matter? Not really. The hard pulls definitely do, because they show up on every report. So yeah, absolutely.
Actually, lenders can see soft. It won't show up on your report end, but lenders can actually see soft pulls if you have a lot of soft pulls. There's a way to check it. I'll send you a link.
Sure. Yeah. To be honest with you, Carlos, there's not much value in this plan. All I could say is the value is in the price. That's where it ends. And once you consider that taxes and fees are not included, the value proposition decreases tremendously. The Metro offer is better. The Metro offer is much better. But we see this as a sign of things to come. T-Mobile is going to probably come in at a higher price point with a new plan. We feel August there's something coming. I don't know. We'll see. And we'll see what they offer. But hey, that's all I wanted to do with the podcast. I wanted to just cover all those things. So this will conclude the Anchor Productions of the audio only podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. And we'll see you guys on the next episode on the audio only podcast. Now, for those of you on the YouTube side, what I will say is, while I do appreciate everybody's input on this, I see everybody's kind of talking about stuff in the live chat. I think it's pretty evident and clear. There's not much value in this plan. Don't get this plan if you have high expectations or needs for your wireless. It's not for you.
It's not. Bro, QCI 9? Who wants to be on QCI 9 priority?
Maybe we could talk about this on Ricky's channel. I know he's about to go live. Ciova said, "I'm so disappointed with T-Mobile. I might leave to Verizon soon." Oh no. That's the last thing that T-Mobile needs right now.
Hold on. I got a good one, guys. Remember, if you guys do decide to go to Verizon, FYI, don't let them Jew you. There's an employee code right now going around. Every employee has one. They have 5 for wireless and 5 for Fios if Fios is available in your area. With that code, you get employee pricing for Verizon Wireless. So that means you can get the Get More plan for basically less than Start Unlimited.
Oh, wow.
Stay in the right lane.
But I'm not eligible because of the plan I have, Carlos.
Yeah, well, we're already existing customers. I'm talking about new customers.
Yeah, well, consider that, guys. Let's do some closing things here. Big shout out to the Mod Squad. Hashtag Mod Squad if you got a big blue wrench. Jeremy, thank you for that, bro. Appreciate the super chat. Visible is still the best. I agree. I love Visible as an option. If you're in a good Verizon market, Visible is a great option. $25 a line if you get on a 4-person party pay. It goes up, or I should say it starts at $40. Every additional line is a $5 savings up to 4 lines, so it comes down to $25. Great option for some if that's something you want to look into. Hashtag Mod Squad, all my Blue Wrench mods out there. Hashtag Ravioli Gang if you're hungry watching this while you're eating dinner. Hashtag 2Live Crew if you watch this on the live. Hashtag Replay Gang if you're watching this on replay. And thank you to everybody who provided super chats and made donations. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for that. Carlos, thanks for coming through in that last minute. We'll be going over to Ricky's channel here in a second. I'm sure we'll be more involved there. And do check out the community links in the description box below. We've got the @SneedTech Twitter handle. We do Periscope Lives on there. Now we got the podcast back. If you ever want to watch or listen in on replays of the podcast, we'll do that. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all the major ones, Spotify, Anchor. We're all over the place. And that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else. Oh, like this video, share this video. If it's your first time here, consider subscribing and activating that bell notification icon so you never miss an upload from the SMT. That's it. Anything for the good of the order, Carlos?
No, that's it.
We out this piece then.
And how Alex would say it, you already.
Yeah. All right. We out. See you guys at Ricky's podcast. We're going over there. Peace.